Okay guys, so the next one we're going to do is right here actually, BattleMage, So we have it right here. So this is good. So we're going to cover the BattleMage next, okay? If you want to make a BattleMage, this is what they're going to look like, okay? So we are going to go through a might and sorcery build, minimum of 15 all the way up to 24. 25 makes it a crusader, which is something completely different, okay? That's the paladin and the cleric. This is the battle mage, okay? So this is 14 in might and sorcery up to 24 points in might and sorcery. So the highest you can go is 24 points in might and sorcery, okay? That's the battle mage, okay? All right. So let's take a look at the battle mage, all right? Okay. Um, let's actually start with the manual here. Let's take a look like we've been doing. Okay, we've been doing this so far. So you can pick whatever gender you want to be with the battle mage. That's fine. The race here is going to be interesting because now we got magic and we got, stuff to do with might in that, hey? So Ducklefar is Sagecraft. We're not going that far into it. We're not into stealth. Persuasion. The only thing there useful is Sagecraft, really. Um, Dispelling, Alchemy, and Sagecraft. I'm not really feeling it. Alchemy, Blacksmith, and Persuasion. I mean, this is the warlike race, right? And we're a battle mage. And the one that's the mage is the one down here at the bottom, Magic and Diplomacy. See, there's the conflict, right? So I'm going to leave it up to you to decide, okay? Which class you're going to be. You could be Jokafar. Um, Actually, well, that's a pure mage build right there, though. That's the problem. Yeah, but that's got stealth in it. I don't know about that. This is total mage right here, right? This one right here, the Lostafar, is total mage. So you got a choice, okay? Like, this is the only way to do it. You're either going to go with the Almain, which is total warrior, or you're going to go with the Lostafar, which is total magic, okay? Because we're a battle mage. We're a mix between the two, okay? Either one of those works, okay? All right? So I'm going to walk you through it, and then you can figure it out from there. So our patron god, who are we going to pick? So the race, let's hold off until we're done the video, okay? Please wait till you watch the whole video, okay? So this all depends if we want to do physical damage. We could do this, right? Which will determine that we're Jokafar then, or we're Dokafar, okay? If we want critical hit and critical damage, right? Um, there's our mana and our mana regen that we could use. We could use mana, we could use health, and chance of a critical hit. That's interesting. Goddess of Love. There's a really interesting one, okay? The poisons I wouldn't say work with this at all. Lightning I wouldn't say works with this. Justice does, and so does Order, because we have a split between health and mana, right? So that would work too. Elemental resistance, no. Ice, no. Physical we could go with. We could go with the physical damage and armor, okay, and fire, no. None we could go with, and we could go with experience points, but what's that? Eventually you're going to max out, right? So you might as well take something that's worthwhile. So it all depends if you're going to be Almain, which is the warrior ones, okay, or if you're going to be Lokafar, is what it comes down to, because there's the Lokafar right there with the 5 health and the 5 mana, okay? So that's going to depend on what race you pick, is what you're going to do there. I'm saying the health and mana is a really good choice, as well as the physical armor and damage, right? Because we're a battle mage, right? Those two are really good because we're splitting the health and mana, and we're also doing physical damage and armor. So either one of those. If you go Elmain, you're going to go physical damage and armor. If you're going to go Lostafar, so that's what we're doing. We're going Lostafar, then it's going to be health and mana. So there's your two choices, okay? Lostafar or Elmain, okay? If it's Lostafar, you're taking the God of Order, and if it's Elmain, you're taking the God of War, okay? That's what we're going with this, okay? All right. Make your character however you want them to be. And what are we doing here again? BattleMage. Okay, I had to remind myself here. We'll talk about that later. And BattleMage, we're going to be in Might and we're going to be in Sorcery. Okay, so we're going to be doing both of those. This is a split class. Okay, all right. Now, the main quest you can absolutely do 100%. And because we're half mage and we're half warrior, we actually get the privilege of joining two factions. We can join the Scolana Arcana because we are a mage, and we can join the Warsworn because we are a battle mage, okay? So we have the warrior, which is the might, and we have the sorcery, which is the wizard side of things, the mage side of things. So we can join both houses. So we can join both factions, the Schola Arcana, which is the Mages Guild, and the Warsworn, which is the Fighters Guild. We can do side quests and tasks as long as they relate to what we're doing with the game. And we can go through the main quest all the way, and the only time that we break immersion is if it says, okay, you have to go to the House of Ballads. And I keep using House of Ballads as an example, okay? So if it says you have to go to the House of Ballads to progress the main story, then do that. But outside of that, outside of the main quest, then we're sticking to what we're doing, okay? We're not joining anybody. We're not doing their quest unless we're forced to through the main quest, okay? So that you can do the whole story, all right? Okay, conversation, we'll get into all this stuff and crafting, alchemy, blacksmithing, and all that. So let's get into that. Okay, so next, let's do, okay, so the destinies is what we are. So we're split between might and sorcery. And we go from 14 up to 24. So the most we can have is 24 points in both might and sorcery. So let's see what we can do with those 24 points, okay? And that also determines our armor too, because we can go like, might for armor, or we can go sorcery for armor, okay? All right? And I would suggest that you go with might. So we can have like heavy armor, which means we're going to be really well protected. Now, because we're a battle mage, we're going to go with long blade here, or we could go with blunt, right? We're not into two-handed, so we're not going to do great sword, okay? All right? So we're doing blunt, or we're doing, single-handed, right? We're doing blunt or bladed, okay? We can go into weapon mastery up to a certain point. That's 35 points. I think we got, 20 something? So we got to be mindful of where the cap is, okay? So we can do the 20 points, right? I think it's 27 that we can go to. Let me just go back really quickly. Sorry, guys. I should write this down. Oh, we can only go 24 points, okay? So we can only go 24 in each, okay? So just keep that in mind when you're taking your abilities. That might and sorcery, you can only do 24, okay? So if it goes any higher than 24, you can't do it. So 35, we can't do these. We can do the 20, that's within range. We can't do the 35, we can't do the 50. So it looks like we can only go here 20 and under, because after 20 it goes up to 35, right? So we can only do this stuff around here. that's 20 and under when it comes to this, all right? Okay, so our weapon mastery only goes here to weapon mastery 2, okay? We are using the bladed or we're using the blunt, but we're not doing a great sword, okay? So we're not doing this at all, okay? So we're doing this. We can have a shield if we want to, but I wouldn't use a shield because one hand is going to be casting magic and the other hand is going to be, using a weapon, okay? We can pull enemies to us, that's okay. We do have a hardy constitution, we can do that. Adrenaline surge, sure, we can do that. Power strike, sure. Relentless assault, yeah. We can do aftershock and we can do quake. All right. We can do hammer and we can do longsword and we can do weapon mastery 1 and 2. And we can do this blunt force right here because it requires level 20. Okay. We can do aftershock and quake. We can do relentless assault. And we can do power strike, this, and this, okay? So that's everything in might that we can do, okay? 24 points, okay? So we can only go to 20, okay? And the same thing applies here, all right? So because we have different magics here, we can actually get into healing, all right? Because we are a battle mage, this requires 20, so we can heal ourselves, all right? This is cool, all right? Now, we got staffs and wands here. I don't think that this is going to do us any good, but we do have magic here for lightning, and we can go up to 20 with lightning, okay? Here, it will take away points for our mana cost, so we're going to do that. And then we got this here with ice barrage, because we are a battle mage, we can do destruction magic, okay? Like fire and that kind of stuff, right? Chain lightning we can do. But we can't go and do this because that takes 35. We only get up to 24. We can't do these because these are outside of our things right there. But here's your flame one right here, so we can do this one, right? But we can't do this one because that's 35. So there's flame, there's lightning, there's chain lightning, there's ice barrage, and there's that. So this is our destructive magic, okay? All right, with us ending right here at 20. So we're not going higher than 20, okay? Plus we can heal ourselves. Now let's look over here. 20 here is Summon Fae Gamora, Agorda. We're a battle mage. I don't know if we're allowed to summon. Let me just think. Do battle mages summon? I know they do destruction magic. I know they can heal. I don't think that they summon, you know. Do they summon? I know they do destruction magic, right? Let me think about that for a second. We're not doing staves and wands and that, so all this is obsolete, okay? We can do, that's only for staff and chakrams, okay, so that doesn't really matter. So the only time we're doing anything else is like if it needs a requirement that we don't have. And these only take like 5 points, where you're going to get 6 right here, and then that's going to use up right there. You know what I mean? So we're going to be able to cover this. I'm whole humming this one right here. I'm not too sure about summoning. You know, so I'm going to leave it up to you. You know, you're a battle mage, right? Battle mage to me says you don't summon because you're not a summoner, right? Battle mage says to me destruction magic, healing, and, you know, using weapons and armor from the might one. So I'm going to say no to summoning, okay? I'm going to say you can't summon, but you can use destruction magic. That's it. That's exactly what it is. A battle mage is destruction magic, you know, and healing, and using the weapons and the armor of the might class, okay? So that's what we're doing here. So this is where we're ending it. we're not going to be doing summoning, okay? All right? So that's the whole thing there. So that's what you can go up to, is up to 20 in these, but you're not going to do the summoning, okay? All right? You're going to skip that, okay? So, now what's next? We did that. Destinies is the thing, okay? Yeah. We did the abilities. That's the one we just did now. Yeah, okay. So 27 in each one of those, I think, is what it was. Let's just make sure. Okay, might and sorcery can go up to 24. Okay, so you go up to 24. All right, and you're going to take the BattleMage card. Okay, all right. Okay, so there we go. Now let's see, what else do we have here? Skills. Let's get into this. Now we're a battle mage. This means we can do blacksmithing. We can do dispelling. We can do persuasion. Or no, hang on. Battle mage. No, we're not into that. We can do sagecraft. Yeah, so sagecraft, dispel, blacksmith, battle mage. Do we do alchemy? Battle mage. Yeah, alchemy, okay? So alchemy, blacksmith, dispelling, and sagecraft. Those are the ones that we can do, okay? And then nothing else, okay? All right? So those are the ones. So we kind of want to mix it up between, making potions so that we can heal and that kind of stuff, right? Blacksmithing so that we can, make our repair kits last longer. We can also even make our own equipment, as well. And dispelling, so we can dispel the wards because we're holy, so we dispel evil, right? So we can actually do that, to make that make sense. And sagecrafting because we are into wizardry too. So we can do this too. All right, okay? All right, so that's the thing. So it all depends on where the character levels out as to how far you can go into these, okay? All right? So I would do these to the best of your ability out, like, alchemy, blacksmithing, dispelling, and sagecraft, okay? So there's your 4 right there, right? And you can max them out if you can, okay? But remember, your level cap is going to be wherever your points are, all right? Okay? All right, so we covered your god, we covered everything like that, and just one last time, I think it's 24 now? Let's just take a look at this, Might and Sorcery. I might do Battle Mage next, actually. Yeah, it's 24. Okay, so it stops at 24 and you take the Battle Mage card, right? There you go. So it stops at 24. It caps at 24, right? Okay. All right, because 25 is something completely different. So there's your Battle Mage, and you actually have the card for it. That was pretty easy to do, right? So there's your armor, your weapons, and everything like that. Your god and the whole bit. Everything is covered there for you. That was pretty easy to do. That actually surprised me. I thought it was going to be a lot more harder to do. It was a lot more harder with the other ones there. So, that's that one, guys. The Battle Mage. I hope it works out well for you. Oh, man, I want to do Xena. I want to do the Battle Mage. I want to do the Cleric. I want to do the Bard. Oh, man, so many great choices here. You guys are driving me nuts. I want to do Conan, So, and we still got to go through a few more here that we can do. But we're coming up with some really cool builds. So yeah, there you go. That's the Battle Mage, guys. Thanks for watching.